Hello, my name is Carla Musso. I apologize in advance for any coughing. I am a little sick, and I hope you enjoy my presentation. I chose Ecuador as my case study country because I was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and I lived there until I was 12 years old. I moved to the United States shortly after that to live here with my family. Two important facts I want to highlight are the national symbol of Ecuador is the Andean condor, and the national colors are yellow, blue, and red. You can see both represented in the flag. I want to provide an outline for my presentation. I'll be talking about the geography of Ecuador. I will provide an overview of facts that relate to life in Ecuador and are relevant to my presentation. I will offer a brief history on Ecuador, and the main topics I will be addressing are politics, United States relationship and China relations, LGBTQ rights, and at last, I will offer a reflection with my sources. Now, the geography of Ecuador. The first map to your left is a South American map. You can see Ecuador in the green, small, highlighted part against the other South American countries. Ecuador also includes the Galapagos Islands. It borders the Pacific Ocean at the equator, and it is also between Colombia and Peru. Ecuador is in the western part of South America. The second map to your right is a clearer look at the cities and provinces that consist in Ecuador. I'm going to talk a little on the climate, terrain, natural resources, and the natural hazards that Ecuador has as it pertains to its geography. Along the coast, it is very tropical. The terrain is coastal plain, which we call La Costa. At higher elevations, it becomes cooler inland. The terrain is Interandean Central Highlands, which we call La Sierra. In the Amazonian jungle lowlands, it is tropical, and the terrain is flat to rolling in the eastern jungle. Natural resources are petroleum, which the economy is mainly based on, fish, timber, and hydropower. Natural hazards are volcanic activity, which is a large issue in Ecuador, given that we have many volcanoes that threaten communities' way of life. There are also frequent earthquakes, happening more now in Ecuador, as you can see in the news. There are landslides, floods, and periodic droughts. Some floods can be man-made, and I will highlight this later with China relations. In this slide, I just want to show you different parts of Ecuador. To your left is a beach view on the volcanic Galapagos Islands. To your right is just a historic neighborhood in Quito that overlooks the Church of La Merced. In this slide, the left picture is the two westernmost islands of the Galapagos archipelago. The right picture is in Quito, the snow-capped Cotopaxi, second highest peak in the country. Quito is beautiful. I have been there many times, just a side note. With my overview, I just want to let you know that the current president is Lenin Moreno. The previous president was Rafael Correa. The population of Ecuador is 16,498,502 about residents. The life expectancy is about 77.1 years. And Ecuador is a presidential republic, and I will go into further details in the history of Ecuador. Ecuador used to form part of the Northern Incan Empire, which I provided a picture in the top, and the Spanish came to Ecuador in the 16th century. The Spanish conquest was actually in 1533. From the beginning, Quito has been the capital of Ecuador and was under the control of the Spanish colonial government in 1563. The territories under that control were Colombia, Venezuela, and Quito. These territories gained independence between 1819 and 1822. This independence formed a federation named Gran Colombia. Quito withdrew in 1830 and became how it is known now as the Republic of the Equator, Republic of Ecuador, but people call it Ecuador for short. We celebrate the Day of Independence as the 24th of May of 1822 from Spain. The first topic I want to talk about is politics and also economy. It wasn't until late 2008 that voters approved a new constitution. There has been a lot of political turmoil with how the previous president of Ecuador left the country in. President Rafael Correa left Ecuador in a recession for President Lenín Moreno to deal with once he came into the presidency. President Rafael Correa was a left-wing populist. He wanted the country free from the orbit of the United States. His economic policies generated economic uncertainty and discouraged private investment. He gave anti-imperialist speeches. The Moreno's administration is trying to revive the economy with public referendum on economic and political issues. He's also trying to reduce corruption and strengthen democracy in Ecuador. I want to go into depth about Ecuador's relationship with the United States and China. In the left picture, you can see President Lenín Moreno with President Rafael Correa. Before Rafael Correa, the United States always had good relations with Ecuador and being the major lender for its economy. However, as soon as Rafael Correa took the presidency of Ecuador, that changed dramatically. In 2008, he refused to renew a lease that allowed American anti-narcotic surveillance flights to operate from an Ecuadorian Air Force base. This was changed under Moreno's presidency. President Moreno is trying to abridge their severe relationship for the benefit of Ecuador. He's doing so by rekindling the ties with the United States military. This was done in benefit of reducing drug trafficking and violence. Rafael Correa spoke vehemently against the Western financial institutions and denounced the International Monetary Fund, apparently because they put restrictions on his spending, which makes sense given the money that was being loaned. In 2008, he defaulted on $3.2 billion of his country's foreign debt. He invited China to fill in the breach terms on Chinese loans, which were from the large state-owned lender, the Chinese Export-Import Bank. However, this bank has high interest rates and came with requirements. One of them was the use of Chinese companies in construction. China then became Ecuador's largest foreign lender since 2008. 77.7% of the Ecuador's bilateral debt is to China. In 2009, China lent $1 billion and their payment is in oil shipments to their state oil company, PetroChina, which they sell at a larger interest. This big loan was due in effect for the construction of the dam in Ecuador, which I provided a picture to your right. This dam was supposed to save Ecuador and restore its hydropower and be an economic boost. It was neither. It failed. To your left is the Reventador volcano spewing ash near the dam, and to your right is the power grid. A full power test has not been attempted since a failed one when the dam opened in 2016. Because of the design flaws, the reservoir is clogged with silt, sand, and trees, as you can see in the picture to your left. The family to your right is grinding sugarcane by hand. The family lost a relative last year in floodwaters caused from a nearby dam. Moving on to LGBTQ rights. In Ecuador, homosexual activity is supposed to have been legal since November 27th of 1997, but there was always discrimination, and there's still some to this day because of the religious beliefs of Ecuadorian citizens and the Roman Catholic presence in Ecuador. In these two pictures, these were from the marchers for the same-sex marriage legalization, which was ruled legal by a judge on July 7th of 2018. Only civil unions though, which is kind of sad. But it is legal to change your legal gender, but something that is still not legal is for same-sex couples to adopt. Only singles can adopt. After the case study assignments, the research, and the class itself, he as a whole helped me to learn more about Latin America, about Ecuador, and the struggles that he has faced and continues to face to this day. I have a new understanding of the history, the relations between countries, and this desire to continue learning about Latin American countries and how they all affect one another. Here are my sources. Thank you very much.